Thanks for joining today, and welcome to a brief rundown on the economics of service-based businesses. As it says here, service-based businesses rely on the direct contribution of the owner or key personnel. They face unique challenges in managing costs, scaling, and achieving profitability. So the key man challenge, limited scalability. So think about this. You are a chiropractor, an accountant, a handyman, a therapist, a coach, any of those things where you are directly billable and your skill set is the thing that drives revenue for your company. There's 24 hours in a day minus 8 hours of sleep, and then you're working 10 hours a day. Your billable rate is $200 an hour. That's $2,000 of potential billable top line revenue every day if you did 10 working hours per workday per week. So that's $10,000 per week that you could theoretically bill if you were working 50 hours a week. Now think about how many hours a week you spend billing, emailing clients, scheduling, website maintenance, coming up with social media posts, coming up with marketing flyers, coming up with messaging, coming up with all of the things that don't directly relate to you executing the service that you bill for. So in any given week, say you're taking away 20 of those 50 billable hours, that's $4,000 a week. So if you were to be paying someone even 1/4 of that, $1,000 a week, it sounds like a lot, but you could make that back in 5 billable hours. That's where the limited scalability piece can be leveraged in your favor, but you have to realize that your capacity is 10,000 a week. So as you can see, of those 50 billable hours a week, that's as much as you could ever scale that company if you were the only person driving revenue. So what does this result in? Number 2, risk of burnout. So say you're working those 50 billable hours every week. How long can you do that for? I mean, the answer is forever, but that's until you die, until you wear yourself out, until you ruin your marriage, whatever it might be, you're going to burn out. If the owner is unavailable due to illness, vacation, other factors, business operations can suffer. So you can't take a vacation with your family. You can't get COVID when the world gets COVID. You can't do any of these things because if your business does not have you there every day driving revenue, it doesn't make revenue. Which this is all good, and you can circumvent this with various pricing structures, but it's the inherent challenge of an owner-operated service business. Capitalizing on your expertise, high value, high demand. Service providers often possess specialized skills or knowledge that are in high demand, i.e. why you're able to bill $200-$300 an hour for your time. Pricing power, the ability to charge premium rates for services due to unique expertise and experience. This is all about how you position yourself. Most small businesses are charging anywhere from 30 to 300% under what they should be charging. Building a brand, establishing a reputation as a reliable and trustworthy provider of high quality services. That is key to this whole thing, but it takes time, and it takes content marketing and content operations, and all of those things take away from your limited time as the revenue driver. Let's look at the cost structure of service-based businesses versus a product business. So a product business, you're going to have higher upfront costs, materials, manufacturing, more marketing, more overhead, rent, those kinds of things. Services, lower upfront costs because it's mostly just what you know, what you can provide. If your service is a therapist, obviously the upfront cost of that is more extensive than if you're a handyman or a lawn care person. However, the economics of the business is still the same, where you are the one driving the revenue. So products, lower ongoing costs, maintenance, storage, all of that. Once you're up and running, the unit economics of a product business are easier to scale because there's not people involved. And a service-based business, so each time you add a body to the mix, it gets more complicated. So it's almost not worth thinking about how do I scale my business? It's how do I scale my ability to spend billable hours with my clients to maximize my one-person business's profit margins. This is where outsourcing admin tasks is by far the most crucial thing that you can do to buy back your time. As Dan Martell says, he has a great book called Buy Back Your Time, all about how you start to take the things that aren't revenue driving. And obviously he's more of like an enterprising entrepreneur, large scale type of thing. This is just for the person who wants to make up to $50K a month as owner operated service provider. And it's achievable. You just need to optimize the back end, and you need to ensure that when you add these admin positions in, they're not creating bloat that's directly taking away from your bottom line revenue. So how do you do this effectively? You first identify time-consuming tasks, anything that's not related to core revenue. 2, how you delegate to virtual assistants and how that can honestly be the thing that allows you leverage before you're making $200 an hour, 50 hours a week. Say you're making $4,000 a month right now in your service business, and you delegate 10 hours per week to a VA who charges you between 10 and 25 an hour, depending on where in the world they are located. Let's use the higher end of that just as a frame of reference. So that's 10 times 25 is $250 a week, $1,000 a month. So if you took that 10 hours of time and put it directly towards your billables, if you're making $4K right now, but 40 hours out of your month is going to these things that take you directly away from serving more clients, run the numbers, look at what that would do for your bottom line revenue, and then pull the trigger. There's plenty of virtual assistant agencies out there. You can contact me at nick@agentcookie.com, and I'm happy to direct you to some of my favorite virtual assistant agencies. If you're interested in learning more about how to delegate to virtual assistants, you can go to getmyvirtualassistant.com. And 3, the ultimate goal, which I've already kind of covered in a roundabout way here, is to free up your time to focus on revenue driving activities. How do you leverage technology in your service-based business to streamline everything? You use a project management software. I recommend Trello if you're using virtual assistants, because I've tried a number of different things: Asana, Lark, Notion, Google Tasks, email chain thread, Slack, Chanty. I've tried a bajillion things, and Trello is by far the easiest, the most digestible for people globally to understand. And there's a reason why some of the most successful companies on earth, i.e. Toyota and tech companies, use the Kanban protocol. So as much as you can just get things systematized to be a drag and drop card system where you see where this thing is in this process, you can add automation tools, which is number 2 on here. Trello has that built in, which is great. You can also automate some of your scheduling. There's Motion is one app that I've used before. Also, you can just hire an executive assistant in the Philippines or Africa, like I have, and they can manage your schedule for you that way. If you have a multi-input, multifaceted calendar that might not work with something like Motion. And then CRM systems, there's all kinds of them out there. But if I were starting off and just completely fresh, didn't know what a CRM was, go download HubSpot, put all your clients in HubSpot. As a beginner, HubSpot is by far the best way to go. All right, so your pricing structure as a service provider. I don't know who this chick is. This is AI generated. That's funny. That's kind of a dollar, kind of a weird symbol. I don't know what that means. Only 9 AA dollar yen things. So anyways, pricing strategies, don't use that currency. Value-based pricing, so charge based on the value you deliver, not the time you spend. If you don't charge more per hour, you're not getting compensated for the experience that you bring to that task. Any way that you can charge a flat rate over hourly, you're always going to get a better margin on the back end. The more experience you have, it directly correlates to your margin if you charge a flat rate. So say something that takes you an hour, you charge $60 for, that's $1 per minute, and then you do it 1,000 times, and you can do it in 10 minutes. Your minute is now worth whatever that is. Anyways, if you're going to charge hourly, make sure that you have very clear expectations with your clients around scopes of work, what is going to be guaranteed within those hours, and what would be billed as additional hours, how to do change management if you're doing a large project. A lot of things that come into play there. Packages and bundles are a great way to offset kind of all of this, because you can use your hourly rate to do all the back-end calculations, but then use value-based messaging on the front end to your client, which the package and bundle basically can articulate that here's the bullet list of tasks that someone would get out of this thing. And then once you have that bullet list of tasks, make that look nice, do some copywriting voodoo, make it look readable, and add some persuasive language in there, add a nice guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee, whatever it might be. And it allows you to take your target hourly rate and then bundle it, charge the client quarterly. There's a psychological principle where if someone is billed monthly for 3 bullet items versus billed quarterly for 9 bullet items, even if they're still getting those 3 bullet items per month worth of deliverables, the value psychologically of seeing that receipt with the 9 bullets and a little bit more bite on the price because it's more expensive quarterly is actually going to retain your clients more. So how do you define or how do you create a repeatable sales process as a service-based business? First, you need to have your target audience, which I'm assuming if you're watching this far into the video, and if you are a service-based business owner already, you've defined your target audience. If not, that's step 1. 2, develop a sales funnel. So create a structured process to attract, qualify, and convert prospects into paying clients. This would consist of top of funnel, social media, YouTube, anywhere where you get eyeballs for free. Capture that into a community, which can also be an additional way to capture revenue. And 3, utilize virtual assistants to manage lead gen, email marketing, and follow-up communications. So how do you expand your reach through content and marketing? You can start a podcast. That's a free way to do it. It's a high time suck way to do it. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend doing videos. That's by far the easiest way to do it. That's what I'm doing right now. You literally create a PowerPoint presentation on something that you know, and then you can download something like Loom or another screen capture software. You could probably even do it on a Zoom call where you record and no attendees. I don't honestly know how that works, but there's a million options. Do it on your cell phone. But videos are by far the best way to get traction for free right now on the internet. Blog takes a long time. I would basically use a tool that takes your video transcript and turns it into a blog. That way you're just having to make the one video. Obviously, social media is not going anywhere, but it is constantly changing. And I would say to develop a solid content marketing plan, you definitely need to bake in some kind of newsletter as well as video, top of funnel, YouTube, and then have your virtual assistant or a tool like Swell AI cut your long form content into things that you can repost on social media. So how do you scale your time as a service-based business owner? 1, outsource admin tasks. 2, leverage technology. 3, let go of your ego. Let go of the fact that you have to be the one to do the books. You have to be the one to make the social content. Like, if that's how you feel, then go get a job as someone who makes social content, because you should be getting paid for your time. And if you're a business owner, there's much better ways to be spending your time. This was a quick presentation on the economics of service-based businesses. If you like this video, subscribe for more. I'm going to be making a lot more YouTube content in the coming months. It's going to be focused on everything related to the economics of service-based businesses and scaling your time by outsourcing to virtual assistants. So if you are interested in that, subscribe. I also have a school community called the Scale Lab that you can join for $20 a month. It gives you exclusive access to things like templates. There's a bi-weekly call. I have a network of virtual assistants in there who are pre-vetted, who you can hire for your business. And there's lots of cool shit in there. So come check it out. That's skool.com/the scale, SCALE LAB, the Scale Lab. We'll see you there.